check of the sound. This is how I'm gonna speak, and I don't think they're gonna be any louder. Okay, cool. Alright, okay.
What are you talking about, man?
Yeah, man, fuck! Like, god damn it! Okay, alright, the Grind Radio hanging out in the back of the Monster bus. This is how cool Monster is. They allowed us to vacate or come into the area and leave dirty stains everywhere. I'm hanging out with two members of two of the coolest bands that have graced us with their presence. We got Corey, all the way from Norma Jean.
All the way.
All the way. And we've got Jake, and we've got Jake from Periphery, who is going to we're going to be chatting about music, we're going to be talking about booze, food, and we are going to be talking about Krank'd Up, which is happening tomorrow. By the time you watch this though, Krank'd Up would have already happened, so it's going to be very interesting to see what your comments are at the bottom of this post.
And if you didn't come, then you need to come next time, so you missed out.
There you go. Alright, but in true Grind Radio tradition, we're going to start with the 1 minute game. Okay, gentlemen, so it works like this. I have written down a whole bunch of things on a piece of paper in here, and I'm going to take the piece of paper out at random, and I'm going to describe that thing to you, and you then need to guess it. It's very similar to 30 seconds. Okay, but the point is, we have to beat the record that Rody from Protest the Hero and
but that guy's brilliant. Like,
he's we got 17 in 1 minute, so we need to.
I'm not that smart.
Whoa.
So.
But the cool thing about it though is that the two of you can go together.
Okay, so we'll have to work together.
All right.
Yeah, we got this. Yeah.
Okay. Can somebody okay, you got this.
Okay.
All right. Okay, you ready?
Go.
Cool.
Giraffe.
All right. British band, lead singer Oli Sykes from.
Oh, Bring Me the Horizon.
That's it. That's it. Where you Where you guys are from? Where you guys are from? It's your country's capital.
Oh, Washington DC.
That's it. This woman, she presents the VMAs. She shows it to us the whole time. She's the daughter of a famous country western singer.
Miley Cyrus.
That's it.
Cool.
Billy Ray Montana.
Oh, this is the from Boston. They're a football team.
Red Sox.
They're brilliant. They just won the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. If you're very excited about cool. Okay, your president, current president.
Obama.
Yeah.
Tony Iommi and yes.
There you go.
Okay, this is probably the time.
Yeah.
Fuck!
We did it.
No, we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, the last one.
Already kicked the shit out of it. 17.
Yeah.
It's like.
No, granted.
He just read your mind. He didn't even like.
Exactly. Okay, the last one, because, and I actually wanted to bring this up later. The last one was our most famous president.
Your most famous president?
Yeah.
Oh, Nelson Mandela.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Now that that's out of the way, wow, we are 10 shy of what Protest the Hero did.
That does not surprise me. Like, those guys are all like super smart, and I'm kind of slow.
Okay.
So I'm okay with that though.
That's all good. All right.
I just suck at that game.
Okay, play some Xbox or something.
Let's play the new FIFA or whatever it is. Okay, seriously though, I'm going to ask the two of you to just describe to me what you guys are listening to at the moment, and what are your influences at the moment, especially when you're writing. Because if we look at the album that you have just produced and have given us, there are clearly quite a few influences that you guys are bringing in. So what's on your iPod at the moment? What are you listening to?
Gosh, I mean, a lot of the stuff that I'm listening to is definitely just the same stuff I've been listening to forever. But I mean, it's really hard for me to name influences because there just are too many musical influences. Okay. There's just, I can't do it.
Okay.
Because then next week it's going to be different, and the week after that I'm going to say totally different answers. I can say some stuff now, but of course, like, one of my favorite bands ever, and a lot of our guitar influences come from bands like Fugazi or Smashing Pumpkins, very big sounding strummy stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it's kind of a big range of music for sure.
For sure. Jake?
Yeah.
Same thing, man. I think that
It's like impossible.
Is that a
really
shitty
impossible.
question to ask a musician?
I think that it's not a shitty question. It's just a common question, and when I get hit with it, I'm just kind of like, oh no.
I feel like I'm gonna later regret my answers or something.
Okay, well,
I have my main influences, like from when I was a kid, that are still my influences, like Pantera, Corrosion of Conformity,
There you go.
Soundgarden, all that kind of stuff. But like now I still listen to that stuff occasionally, but now I'm like on the streaming side of the music listening experience. I've gotten on Spotify, and there's I pay for the premium service, and you get all these cool features. The one that I use the most is this Discover Weekly playlist, and basically it pays attention to your listening habits and what you're listening to, and then every Monday morning
It's a crazy algorithm.
That
tells you what you like.
Works it out. And,
and so like every Monday morning I wake up and I make breakfast to this completely like new playlist, and I start saving the songs that I like, and it's so good at understanding what I like is that I save like 80% of the songs that I
Wow.
like.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's sick.
it's
Cool.
really cool. But then the problem is like, oh yeah, I'm into all this new music, and then somebody asks me what I'm into, and I have no idea.
Another thing
what I'm
too
listening
is
to.
that a lot, some of the part of being an artist and being influenced is some of the influences are not musical, like books, movies, TV, just weird sounds you hear on the
Going
street.
outside, nature.
Yeah,
stuff
like
that.
it's weird how you'll get ideas for things you want to do. I mean, I've been like half asleep listening to something happening 3 rooms over, and all you hear is like the just the low end.
Yeah.
And I've gotten full song ideas just from
that.
and having no idea what it was that was coming from that room.
Okay.
You know.
All right, let's move away
So
from
it's very
music.
strange.
Let's move away from music very quickly then. Let's talk about the last movie
Yeah,
that you watched.
screw music.
What was the last movie that you guys watched?
Well, we flew over here, so there was movies on the plane. That's
Okay.
what my answer is going to become.
Have you seen Suicide Squad yet?
No,
You haven't. Don't.
No.
Just
Okay.
don't.
I'm probably going to, but
Okay. No, well, yeah, you have to see it. I'm just
Tell me
saying,
what
like.
to do, man.
Okay, sorry.
The Nice Guys.
yeah. The Nice Guys. Is it
Yeah,
good?
It was great.
Okay, cool.
So I want to watch it again
All right.
immediately.
What was the last
It
movie you
was
watched?
great.
I'm on a Stallone kick.
Oh, cool.
So I just finished watching all the Rocky movies, and I started watching the Rambo movies, like First Blood and Rambo First Blood Part 2.
So sick.
And now I'm going to, when I get home, I'm like really excited to watch Rambo 3.
Cool.
But I'm really into like 80s like cinema and like that vibe. It's a movie that I watch pretty often, but I highly recommend it to anybody who's into that vibe. There's this movie called Drive, and it stars Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's a great movie.
That movie
It's great.
that's like one of my like top 5.
How good
all
is that
time.
soundtrack though?
Yeah, it's got everything. It's got the look, it's got the vibe, it's got the violence. It's just so cool.
Cool.
But yeah, Rambo 2. I think
Okay,
was
all right. Okay.
Good answer.
So tomorrow in South Africa we celebrate a day called Heritage Day, which basically means that we go back to our roots because everybody in South Africa comes from completely different places, and we celebrate what it means to have a specific culture. And for me personally, my culture is the metal culture, and this sort of vibe is what I would describe. Yeah, what I would describe as my culture. So I wanted to ask you guys if you could sum it up in 2 or 3 words. What does metal mean to the two of you?
Uncompromising pleasure. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, those are the 2 words.
I have to use 2 words.
No, 2 or 3 or 5 or 6 or whatever.
I can't do that. That's I think there's a very carnal, spiritual passion to it. And I have to explain that because the very first shows that I ever went to where it was loud, heavy music, and there was, a band on stage playing, very first experience with heavy music, and the dude just screaming into a microphone, and in between every song he's like, this song's about this and this and this, and then go into it, and I've never heard that before, the virgin ears hearing this, so I was just like, that guy can't, he can't just sing these songs, he's so into what these songs are about and the intention behind them that he has to scream them, and that's what I thought screaming vocals were. It wasn't like a vocal, what's the word, like don't know, genre, like a vocal style. It was just, he had to scream to do it. So that has always stuck with me. That
like
vision of that band, like, it's just pure passion, and I don't think any other music genre has it as much as metal or heavy music in general has that.
Cool. I get that. Like, it's just passion, man. It's you will never find a genre of music that has the fans that we share.
It's
and
a
the people
stark
in the community
contrast from every single kind of music.
Yeah.
I mean, you literally, let's take every kind of music, you could put it on this side, and then heavy music and just yelling or mixing different things like our bands do. It's no one's doing that on this side at all. So it's very, very different.
Something I want to mention is which I think we all kind of are on the same page, no matter what kind of metal we like or what kind of music we like, is that specifically with heavy music is the technology involved. We're all using very similar technology, and it's like this resonance that you feel like really deep in your chest, and that's kind of like it kind of gives you this very like subtle high, especially when you go to a show, especially when you go to a show for your first time, and like you're hearing this for the first time, and you're like, holy moly, that is so powerful, and it just like resonates in your chest and in your head. And I think like we want to, as creatures, we want to recreate that when we hear it and see it, and I think that's like this resonance that we have between all of us. I know that sounds like a new agey, like hippie answer.
No, not at all.
That's what I really like about it.
Spot on.
Yeah. Cool.
Because I mean, when I heard that kind of thing for the first time, that's what I kind of thought. Like, I don't know what that is, but I want to make that sound happen.
Yeah.
How do you do that? What is the thing that you use? What is the technology you use, or the instrument, or whatever you do to make that sound, whatever that sound is.
And that's a whole nother fun part about the music, is like researching and experimenting with all the toys and gizmos and technology and stuff. That's like, that's another
nerding out is definitely a big part of it.
I have to say, I've followed Norma Jean for a very long time, and have always been a fan of Periphery. But what stands out for me though about both your bands is that you're not scared to do that. You're not scared to push the boundary in terms of the technology that you use, and it's okay to have a backtrack, or it's okay to use this in certain styles.
It's important. I can't speak for your band, but it's important for us to make sure that like they're getting the album experience.
Yes.
Because there's different types of bands, and like some bands they want this more like raw, vibey experience. And they embrace the fact that it doesn't sound like the album. It's like a different thing than what they're doing on the record. For us, we want to go up there and make sure that it's as close as we can get. It's never like it's never 100%. It's not usually 80%, but it's as close as we can get it, and that's why we focus on messing with.
I think every band feels that way. Like, we want that too. Like, and so we track in the way that we want to play. We write for live, and then just try to track it in that way. And I mean, I know it's not going to be perfect, like you said, but we definitely, I think every band strives for that. Like, you want that, because we're putting that passion and that emotion on those records.
Yeah.
So when we're in the studio, we're spending, months writing songs. For us, we've spent months in the studio, and it's not just playing the songs, getting, make sure the snare's right and all that stuff. It's you're putting energy into it, and you're putting that passion and that intention.
Yeah.
And so we want that to come across live too. So it's like it takes a lot.
But as a fan and somebody who would one day want to create metal music, it's so cool to be able to see, that guy didn't hit that chord. Okay, cool. Like, it's all right. That's like,
that better be expected, because I'll never play it.
Well, I mean, you're gonna lose your mind too. That when that passion does come out, that feeling, you lose your mind, and you kind of, everything is kind of, in the wind at that point. So it's just, for sure.
All right. These gentlemen need to go to sleep because they are extremely tired, I can see. Thank you very much for watching. Jet lag, yeah. Check out Norma Jean and Periphery. We will post all of their Instagram, Twitter, what at the bottom of this video. Also, remember to follow the Grind Radio. And remember, the Krank'd Up is the only music festival in the entire country that is playing this kind of music.
Oh, I thought we were going to end there.
You want to?
Only one.
The only. Oh, it's the only
only
festival.
one.
Right, it's the only festival.
The
Cool.
only one happening. Not anymore.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Good luck for tomorrow.
Thanks, dude.
And we will definitely be following your careers. And thank you for coming to South Africa. And thank you, more importantly, for playing fucking badass music, man.
Very well.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.